Namaskar. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday was the death anniversary of Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. He is the great source of inspiration for all of us. I salute him. And now, please let me begin. What inspired me to go to the rural area and work with the tribals? I decided in my college days, personally, that I should go to the rural area as an activist and work for the toiling masses. But then, the idea of exactly what should I do was not clear at all. In 1970s, when I used to go to the Matunga labor camp in Mumbai with my friends in IIT and TIFR, that idea started to become clear. We stayed in that slum area and we involved in teaching the children of mill workers. We discussed with Baburao Bagul, the well-known Marathi author who wrote Maran Swasth Hota Hai, about many things in the world and especially about the downtrodden people world over. In our discussion, one of the part was about the Naxalite movement. We read documents circulated clandestinely. I was impatient. I became restless. I came to know about Shramika Karyakarta Vidyapit, founded by Baba Amte, and decided to go and join it at Somnath. I joined it. Amte gave us full and total freedom to work with leprosy patients in agricultural fields and to serve in hospitals. He taught us to travel on uncharted path with an uncompromising commitment to the social cause. After a few months, he told us to go to Shahada in Dhule district, now Nandurbar. When we trekked in the villages, we were shocked by observing the oppressed and exploited mass of the toiling people, agricultural workers. The majority of them were Adivasis. We were introduced to an educated tribal youth, Ambar Singh. He posed us a question. What are you going to do in your life? We promptly replied that we will work with you and other tribal friends to organize the rural masses, rural working class, and to wage a fight against their oppressors. That is how my fight began. That fight is for the radical social change. After a few months, now I would like to cite you about some incidences that triggered to concentrate in my present day activities. A woman agricultural worker from village Amlad in the Nandurbar district went to Saurashtra along with her 14-year-old son for employment purpose. Both of them, along with other tribal families, got work employment in sugarcane fields. Day after day, they had to cut the cane and load it in vehicles. They were working there almost as bonded laborers. They were brought there by a contractor who paid them advance money. All the tribal families had to stay there in outside open fields. They were not protected at all by any compound wall. On one fateful night, a tiger crept in and dragged the woman and ran away. Her fearful cries went unheard. तिच्या आर्थ मरणप्राय किंकाळ्या हवेमध्ये आसमंताचा हळूहळू विरत गेल्या. Nobody heard them. She was killed and consumed by the tiger. And consumed by the tiger. I was only 30 kilometers away from that place. I and my tribal friends tried our best to give some compensation to her son. After persistent efforts, we succeeded. But even after such terrible incidences, people do migrate to Saurashtra because of the lack of local employment opportunities. They are not given employment as per the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Let me now tell about another such incident. 25 tribal families from village Shahane in Shahada Tehsil went to work on brick kiln sites in Karjat near Mumbai along with their children. They had to go there because they have borrowed money from a contractor. The contractor and the owner of the kiln promised them that they will be provided with food grains and kirana, and after 3 months the final payment will be done. They work very hard because the work was given to them on piece rate basis. After 3 months, when they demanded their payment, they were denied. On the contrary, they were detained and forced to work without payment. When we came to know about their detention, we intervened. We sent memorandums to Chief Minister, Labour Commissioner, issued press notes, and ultimately they were released. Tribals from the village Shahane, they own and cultivate forest land surrounding their village. But till now, they have not got the titles of those forest land nor the community forest rights as per the Forest Rights Act of India. So that is why they have to go there as bonded laborers. Since those early days of my joining their movement, a lot of water has flowed through the river Tapti. The acute repression of the tribals perpetrated by the nexus of moneylenders, police, landlords has now been reduced. The organized strength of the rural working workers, and they achieved some gains in reducing the heinous atrocities. They have even succeeded in preventing the forced takeover of their agricultural land by the landlords. They are fighting and retaliating against the corrupt and callous bureaucratic machinery. They have joined forces with tribals and other rural workers in other parts of the country, leading to the passing of the acts like in Parliament, like Forest Rights Act, Panchayat Raj extended to the Scheduled Area Act, and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Act. Despite all these laws in India today, the tribals continue facing the brunt of poverty, inequality, and socio-economic discrimination. There are constant, irreconcilable clashes of interest between the landlords and the Adivasis. Lucky few on one hand and impoverished mass on the other. Clash of interests. Mumbai's posh housing on the one side and tattered and shattered habitat of the migrant laborers on the other. See the positive achievements. Record agricultural food production of more than 26 crore tons and abundant food stocks, buffer food stocks in government godowns. Supreme Court directions to distribute food grains freely to the rural poor if required. And Food Security Act has been unanimously passed in Parliament. But see the negative results. As per the Global Hunger Index prepared by UNICEF, India has more than 70% of newborn children and children under age 5 undernourished. 50% of the rural people in India are going to bed with half-filled stomachs. Next, clash of interests. See this picture. a wedding party. What an exorbitant show of richness, subservience to the imaginary, sophisticated appetites, and brutal West. And on the other side, malnutrition, suffocating tribal children, number of them, 60% of them are tribal girls. Look at them. They are looking at you anxiously with some hopes. The root cause of the problem is that the subsistence of the Adivasis has been destroyed by snatching away their rights over forest and natural resources. Resources like forest, land, water are very much necessary for the sustenance of life itself and the sustainability of production in general. Snatching away of these rights erodes the subsistence base of their livelihood. Adivasis' symbiotic relationship with natural resources is getting declined, and that is creating havoc in their socio-economic and cultural life. Exploitation takes place not only on the basis of class differentiation, it is also because of caste, gender, religion, ethnicity, regional imbalances, etc. Our constitution, in its preamble and directive principles of state policy, guarantees certain fundamental rights without any discrimination. But the undisguised exploitation of the has unfortunately not been addressed by the policymakers. Floods and heavy downpour, and alternately drought and dearth of water, as we are experiencing in Marathwada and Vidarbha today. The destruction of natural resources of the land and subsequent ecological and environmental impact are the issues which have to be tackled seriously. I sincerely believe that to improve the quality of the toiling people, we must have a paradigm shift in our thinking and resource management strategies. Price rise, underemployment, lack of job security, absence of living wage, unhealthy conditions of work, recurring phenomena of malnutrition are all the problems faced by the rural people. The problems of exploitation and oppression have to be resolved with alternative developmental models. Our vision should be based on the unique combination of critical theory and empirical analysis. We have to integrate the issues of environmental and ecological impacts. See, this picture seems to be very nice and attractive too, but at the same time, it attacks on your health and the natural beauty of the soil. We know that for the radical social change, a radical critique of existing system is required. But I'm also convinced that it is not enough. A radical critique of how we go about regarding nature is also important. And it should be incorporated in our agenda of social transformation. Let us elaborate a few noteworthy facts happening all around us. The relationship between humans and nature is being tremendously changed. Agriculture today, instead of being used mainly to feed humans, has now changed into market-oriented monocultural cash crop production. Therefore, the profession is unable to meet the bare subsistence needs of the rural people. Original source of all the wealth, soil and labor. Ever-increasing population in towns and huge displacement of rural people from rural areas are leading to irreversible ecological degradation and environmental imbalances. Along with this, the changed and incorrect practices of farming are leading to a long-term infertility of the soil. This is sapping the original source of all the wealth. Original source of all the wealth. And agricultural workers are increasingly becoming infected by chemical fertilizers and pesticides, resulting in their not getting nutritious food. Tremendous use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, genetically modified, cross-genic seeds and crops. Society has turned to rampant consumerism with extensive use of fossil material-based energy systems. This developmental model has to be changed and alternatives evolved. If we are not going to oppose and stop this model, at least we should question this developmental model. Chetana Vikas in Wardha, Advanced Center for Watershed Development and Management in Pune, Krishi Vidyapith in Jalna, Ecological Society and Maharashtra Knowledge Foundation in Pune are some of the institutions I know. And they are looking at alternative approaches to agriculture and ecology. Suitable and conducive conditions are still available in tribal areas, attempting radical solutions for the present day problems. I do hope that all the persons gathered here agree that a radical change is needed to solve these problems. I would like to add the following points taking into consideration my own field of activities and abilities. These points are for direct action plan. The prompt and strict implementation of the acts, establishing a training center in Nandurbar and big districts to ecological education and biodiversity learning, you may help in this participating in awareness campaign. Rigorous in-depth study of underground water systems. And those who are IT specialists, software programmers here can provide us with appropriate softwares, initiating and maintaining people's biodiversity registers for the documentation of biological diversity, planning on each and every piece of land in selected villages with the help of GPS, initiate scientific missions to study organic multi-crop, non-monocultural agriculture. This is the picture taken in Wardha, and this is we are practicing in Nandurbar district in few villages. Start renewable energy-based, decentralized, solar energy-based. Those who are familiar with this topic should come in tribal areas and please help us to erect such projects. I would especially like to work with each of you for these creative, critical, and collective activities. Let us march together to the holistic ecological development and for the sustainability of the livelihood of the people. Are you ready to ride on the road of radical social change? You must. You are the creamy layer of the society. You are the high quality intelligentsia. The entire destiny of our country depends upon you, your honesty and integrity. So, I appeal you humbly to please join us. Come on, rural people and tribal girls and boys, they are looking at you anxiously. It is urgent. मूलभूत सामाजिक परिवर्तन के लिए विकास का एक क्रांतिकारी विकल्प आवश्यक है. But then you have to keep in your mind the message given by to all of us by no less a person than Shahid Bhagat Singh. Shahid Bhagat Singh said that निष्ठुर आलोचना और स्वतंत्र बुद्धि, स्वतंत्र विचार, ये क्रांतिकारी सोच के दो अहम पहलू है. और सामूहिक, समर्पित, संघर्षशील कृति क्रांति के लिए अनिवार्य और अवश्यमेव है. Baba Amte tried to say jokingly that he trusted him and then entrusted him. He means God. God trusted Baba and then he entrusted him. But when we go to the people in rural areas and start working with them, there is no God as such. Only people are there. People and nature. Manushya or Prakriti. They will judge you. They will test you. And then they will interest you. That is what my experience is. And if you want to pass this test, you have to remember what Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar said in his Annihilation of Caste. Reason and morality are the two most powerful weapons in the armory of a reformer, social reformer. As social reformers, We have to build up and equip with these two powerful weapons, but along with reason and morality, passion and compassion. As our guest Rezi has said, passion and compassion is also required. Passion to go and engage with the toiling people in rural areas, and compassion for conjoint communicated experience with the people at large. There is no other goal. Passion and compassion, and along with that, reason and morality. Thank you.